One of the most frequent questions I hear, and search results on my website tell the same story, is what does a homeschool day look like? So today I am sharing my 10th graders school schedule. Already this year I put up my 6th graders and my 4th graders. So if you have younger kids, go check that out. I try to put these videos out every year at the end of the year because I want to share with you what actually worked and not what I hope is going to work. I did not put one out last year though, as a 9th grader, her schedule looked pretty similar to what this one is. Before we start, I will say that my daughter's schedule is pretty much her own. She, starting with 9th grade, I really handed over to her the ability to figure out what a day should look like, what a week should look like, and go from there. We've done some training, I don't want to call it training, but I guided her a lot along the way, and then in middle school we really started putting it more in her control with a bigger picture. And then with high school, she's just really taken over it, and I don't do much teaching. We do a mixture of outsourced classes and at home. My role is really just more of a guide, and I'm then there, of course, to help her when she gets stuck. So let's take a look at her schedule. So we do co-ops on Monday. This year, her only core class was literature. She took a British literature class through there. And then she also took art and yearbook. And then the last hour when my boys were in class, she had a break. Now this was usually our time to look ahead at her week. If she had any questions about it, we'd compare calendars. We would talk about anything that if she had something different going on, how to plan for it. She would also have schoolwork sometimes, so if she needed help with something, we had that hour that we could do that with. Afterwards, we'd go home, and then in the afternoon, she would do whatever needed to be done. In the spring, that was biology. She took biology lab through the Well-Trained Mind Academy this year, but her section was pre-recorded, so she could do it on her own time, but she still had to have everything done. Like it had a due date, so it wasn't just self-paced entirely. As long as, that makes sense. Anyway, so usually she would, in the afternoon, would watch the video for that because it came out on Fridays, so she would watch it on Monday. In the fall, when she didn't have the lab, she just picked something to do. She just picked something. That hour is a rough one because, we were out of the house by 7:30. And so by the time the end of the day came, there was not a lot of motivation type of thing. So she always chose something that was easy to do. I'll talk about our afternoons and evenings after I finish the rest of our mornings. So the rest of the week, her mornings looked pretty similar. She would usually be downstairs by 9-ish. As a teenager, her mornings would actually start a little bit later some days, and that was no problem. We just adapted from there. As well, sometimes she would stay up late of an evening and get the next day's schoolwork done, or mostly done, if she was, had the energy of an evening, and then that way she could just kind of take the next day off. And that was a great way for her to kind of self-monitor and reward herself for some extra hard work. I'm staying up late. That is not a problem for us. We're a pretty flexible family as far as that kind of thing goes. And as a teenager, I want her to be able to take over the role of figuring it all out. So when she becomes a teen or a college student, adult, she's ready to make that transition on her own. So depending on her workload, what she did in each of these hours changed. But this is roughly what she gave me. I had to even ask her what her schedule was. I could roughly tell you, but I needed to confirm it with her. So first hour, she would work on math and Spanish. She took an online math class, which I've talked about before. I'll link it up there and down there. But so she would do that, and then she would do some Spanish. Spanish, we did a variety of things, and none of it was great, so I won't talk about it. But yeah, that first hour, roughly, was math and Spanish. The next hour would be literature and biology. Like I said, she took literature through our co-op, and her workload would vary each week, depending on what they were doing. If they were writing a paper or reading books, if for her, when they were just reading books and not writing, it was not a paper writing week, a lot of times she would listen to the book or read it outside of class time. And then biology, that said she took a lab in the fall, or in the spring, and in the fall we just did bookwork at home. And then that 11 to 12 o'clock hour before lunch, she would usually do history and then yearbook. She did yearbook through our co-op, and then art. And a lot of times she would do art while she was like watching history documentaries. Kind of vary, depending on what she was doing. But a lot of times art got mixed with something else. Art and biology videos, art and history videos, that sort of thing. And then she would do art in the evenings as well. So that was kind of what our mornings looked like. And then lunch break. So then our afternoons, 2 afternoons a week, she would do her math class online. And then usually that would be it for the day. Sometimes she would do a little bit of work afterwards, especially if they had a quiz or a test that came out on the same day as the math class. She might go ahead and start it. But usually that was about it. And then on Wednesday and Friday afternoons, she would just do whatever needed done. Now, on Fridays, her goal was always to be done with school by lunchtime. And if she completed it, I certainly didn't make her do something in the afternoon. A nice reward to work hard and get everything done before Friday so that she could be done. And most weeks, she was able to finish off everything before lunch. Now, our afternoons and evenings, she did play volleyball in the fall, so that took up Tuesday and Thursday evenings. We were gone for that. And then Wednesday nights, we have church. She worked with different classes at our church with the kids. So that was her Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. In the afternoon, we have just some free time, screen. They can watch, get on the computer, play games, make sure that their jobs are finished up, pack anything that needs packed for the next day, etc. It was one of their nights to cook dinner. That would they'd also start during that time for that. Monday and Friday evenings were just kind of our chill time to do whatever. We don't eat, well, we try to eat around 6, kind of depends, but I like to have that just block of time that screens are blocked and we can just do whatever. And then in the spring, we were starting things before COVID hit. Her evenings would have looked similar in the spring as they did in the fall with different activities. And while you're exploring high school, you can go check out my high school playlist. I've got lots of great videos over there tackling all kinds of questions and concerns about high school. Thanks for watching.